It's Washaholic Wednesday. I'm Mike Hinderleiter, the Dean of Power Wash at Power Wash University and powerwash.com. And today I want to share my insight on where I think things are going to affect our industry in the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months, okay? And the time frames may not be 100%, but I do think they'll happen in this order. So first I want to talk about the fact that COVID-19 has had a tremendous impact, negative impact on our economy. There's no debating that. Big shutdown. We've all suffered from it. We've seen a loss in work. Some people in some areas actually increased, which is good. Very small percentage. I did a survey the other day in Power Wash community and saw that. So good for you guys, and kudos to you for being able to do that. But I want to say that originally my thought was that once this passed, there would be all this pent up demand, and that pent up demand, we would just shoot through the roof and get right back to work as soon as possible, full force. I don't believe that anymore. It's not going to happen super fast. There may be segments in certain industries out there within our industry of power washing. You know, you got fleet washing, wood restoration, kitchen exhaust cleaning, commercial work, residential. So all those segments will act differently because of those customer bases and how they're being impacted by this. But the fact is, what I'm fixing to say will have some impact across the board. First thing I want to say is you're going to have two different types of consumers. You're going to have the let's say what we're going to call the aggressive consumer, who's going to be ready to purchase, ready to get back out there, ready to go to restaurants, ready to go and fly and travel and all that, and they're not going to be that concerned. This is probably going to be a little bit of a smaller group than the other group, which has their concerns about going back into the public and catching the virus and doesn't want to go out there. You're also going to have business in this group that don't want to let people in the doors and don't want to have a sit-in or dining or people coming into their office and creating this opportunity for more spread of the virus. And there will be a fear for a while before that confidence is regained and people start going back to engaging and socializing like they did prior to this. And who knows, it may never happen again, but it will be slow. I firmly believe that it's not going to come back and shoot through the roof like crazy. So that sets the stage for what I'm fixing to say next. So as this slow return takes place, the desperation to stay in business and get business is going to become greater. So we're all going to have competitors that are going to start cutting prices. If you haven't seen it already, you will. Price cutting is going to happen, and it's going to, I think it could get pretty aggressive. I want to encourage you not to be price cutters. So that's the first wave. So first wave is going to be price cutting. Okay, and I expect to see a decent amount of this. And if you didn't have the opportunity to watch the interview that Brandon Vaughn did with Brandon did with Mike Michaelwitz, who wrote Profit First, and he just came out with another book, which is called, it's Fix This Next. I'm looking forward to reading that, and Brandon's doing a book review over in the Growth Vault. So if you're not a part of that group on Facebook, you should be, because I think this is going to be a great review for everybody, book review. So watch out for the price cutting. And one of the things that came out in the interview with Mike was those companies that do that and start cutting price during this time period are only going to hurt themselves. They're not being true to their company or to themselves by cutting prices. And you stand a much higher risk of going out of business if you do that. And you're going to miss the second wave that I believe is going to happen, and that is companies that are going to go bankrupt. So bankruptcies are going to be pretty high. I hope I spelled that right. Someone will make fun of me if I didn't, but I apologize. My spelling's not the best. But there's going to be a lot of bankruptcies. There's going to be a lot of companies that go out of business. It's going to create a lot of opportunities. So the first thing I want to point out is that this is a great time for customer acquisition. You're going to see an opportunity in the next probably 6 to 12 months where the customer acquisition is going to get much better. and you will be able to sustain your pricing in that period. We're going to have a tough period before that. Also, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. What happens with bankruptcies? Companies go out of business. Think of what happens next. They're going to sell equipment. The bank's going to own it. Same thing with real estate, things like that. So if you're preparing, you want to do some expansion, that's when you should really be ready for it. And that may take 12 to 24 months before that hits. But anyway, be prepared. That's going to happen. The last wave, this is the one that probably concerns me. I really feel comfortable making it through these first two. This is the last one that I feel the most unsure about. And I would hope that there's someone who could actually do an interview with someone or talk to someone or someone who reaches out to me and I'll interview you. I'll be happy to. I want to know what you expect will happen as inflation hits. So inflation is going to come. Inflation will hit. You cannot put this much, and I believe the term is correct when I say this, you cannot monetize and put this much new money into the economy and not expect inflation. It just doesn't work that way. And it's one of the things that I know the Fed will do at times when they push money or the government push money out, is they're trying to keep a certain rate of inflation. So we've gone, as I understand it, and I wish I could remember the YouTube video I watched, the guy's name that did it, but I apologize. So this doesn't all come from me. These are numbers that I'm repeating, and I hope that they're correct because I'm going off memory. And that is, there's somewhere between $2 trillion worth of money in our current U.S. society. $2 trillion. The stimulus package that's coming out is around $2 to $3 trillion. So what that means is, because you're adding money to money that exists and you're doubling it, it basically means everything's going to be devalued. And again, I could be completely wrong, by 50%. So instead of something that costs $1 today, in a year or two, it could cost $2. That's just simple math that I'm using, so I could be way off. It may not work exactly that way. That's why I'm saying if there's someone who's an economist out there that can give more insight, I really would like to know. Because this is the third wave that concerns me the most. And this is what I want you to prepare for. This is the time you're going to have to be able to raise your prices and pass on cost as quickly as possible, because inflation may be very hard for the government to get under control, and you want to be able to survive this period. You need to pass those things on and not sit on it. A lot of times, us as business owners won't do that. We're afraid to pass on costs. We're afraid of losing customers. You're going to have to get over it in this period, and you're going to have to move through this period and pass on those costs as quickly as possible. So, real quick recap. First wave, price cutting. These companies are going to have a hard time surviving, and they're going to go out of business in the second wave when you have all the collapses, shutdowns, and bankruptcies that are going to take place. Those are opportunities for customer acquisitions, new equipment, things of that nature. Get ready for it. It's coming. Third wave, inflation. It's going to come. I'm really not best at knowing how that will impact us. And it'll be interesting to go back and watch this video in 6 to 12 months and see how much of this is right. I don't think it's too far off. And hopefully someone will comment below about doing an interview or doing some input about how the inflation will impact us. And it may be 3 to 4 months out before I get someone who can do that, or someone can share with us as well. So anyway, that's my tips this week. I'm Mike Kinderleiter, the Dean of Power Wash at Power Wash University and PowerWash.com. I hope you have a safe and successful week. I will see you next time. Take care.